Hello people of the internet, I'm Cynic. I'll be doing a quick tutorial on the basics of Sony Vegas. I'm sorry if I stutter or, say a lot, or take time to say my words. I'm not great at commentating, but I'll do my best. So first of all, I'll start you off on the project media window on the far left. In here, it's basically everything that is inside your project. So all your video clips, your music, all the text you've added in. Even after you delete them, as long as you haven't deleted them from your hard drive, it will still show up in here. As you can see, I tried the take of this tutorial before and fucked it up badly. So I still have the clips I added in before, even though I deleted them from the timeline. Which is what this thing down here is, if you hadn't already guessed. Now, the Explorer tab. Explorer is where you grab all of your assets. For example, your video clips or your pictures. I'm getting some clips from Grand Theft Auto, so I've dragged in the first one there. I'm going to get the second one into my project by simply dragging and dropping where I want it to go. You can see by the faint grey outline how long it's going to be and what space it's going to take up, etc., etc. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to put in this third clip and then keep it there. Now you can also add in pictures and music by just doing the same thing. For example, thumbnail in vid, you just simply drag and drop. You can delete by just clicking on it and pressing delete. Pretty simple stuff. Now to show you how to add some music, even though it's exactly the same thing, you simply just drag and drop. They've made it as simple as possible, and it's pretty foolproof if you ask me. Now, the transitions tab. I don't use this a whole lot, but others might. Pretty much as it says, it's transitions between your clips. For example, if I wanted to have something between these two clips, even though they simply, well, they're continuous between the two of them, I simply choose whichever one I want. I want Iris. I drag it in, put it right in the middle, drop. I don't have a whole lot of experience using transitions, so I might be doing something wrong, but I think that's how you do it. Yep, that's basically how you do it. I might have fucked it up there, but yeah, pretty much everything in this program is drag and drop. Pretty simple. Now for video effects. Say, for example, you want to change the brightness of the video. Say your video is quite dark, like here. It's not really dark, but I'm going to change it anyway. Simply drag, drop. Even though this one's default, I could drag in brighter, so it automatically has the settings set to make it slightly brighter. But now that I've dragged it in, this window will pop up, the Video Event FX window. With this, I can use these sliders to change to certain things. The contrast, brightness, etc., etc. I'm guessing you're not stupid, so I don't need to read everything out for you. To get rid of an effect, you simply click on this little button here that should be green if you've added in an effect to it, and you click Remove Selected Plugin. If you don't have anything in there, then it should be white, like so. I'm going to quickly show you how to do a lens flare, since it's something a lot of people like to use, but I'm not sure why. Let's add in a 105mm prime lens. Drag it to the third one. So as you can see in the video, it's right in the corner. Now on here, if you click the arrow to expand it so it shows all the information, for light position, we can see that when we drag it, the light moves. Amazing, I know. We can also change the color of the light, also pretty simple. It doesn't seem to have changed then. Again, I don't have much experience, with changing the color of the lens flare. So I'm not sure what you exactly do with that, but experiment for yourself. I'm going to quickly show you how to animate the lens flare so it moves across the screen. To do this, I'm also going to have to show you some other basic tip. Splitting. To split your videos, simply move the marker over where you want to split the video into, and then press S on your keyboard. Doing this will pretty much make it its own clip. You can do this to segment up videos into bits that you want to delete, like I can put that there and then press delete. Or if you just want to put the video effect onto a small clip inside the bigger take, then you can do that also. When splitting, it also keeps the attributes it had before. For example, because before, when this was all one big video, we dragged on the lens flare, it's still affecting these two clips. Again, to quickly remove it, you just did that and do that. Bang. Pretty simple. Now to quickly show you how to animate it, click on the thing, like position, click this, the clock, and click animate. Then you move it to wherever you want. For example, if you want to move it from the left side of the screen to the right side and have it hit the right side about 2 seconds, you can move it to 2 seconds, double click. Now make sure you selected the second one so it's highlighted like a white. Simply move that over. Pretty simple. Let's watch it in action. Great. Now you know how to add lens flares. Now I'm not sure what this X and Y bullshit is all about. I think it's just, you know, changing the position slightly. I'm only really used to Sony Vegas Pro 10, so this is all new to me. It's all pretty much the same. I'm just going to quickly remove these. Okay. Splitting is actually extremely useful. It's one of the most useful things to remember. So just to go over it again, press S or to cut wherever the marker is. Bam, bam, bam. You can get rid of things that you can undo things by quickly just pressing Control Z, like so, or just doing Edit and click that. But it's much quicker to remember the keyboard shortcuts. It seems I just undid removing the effects, so I'll remove them again. Alright. Now I'm going to quickly show you how to add in text. This is the last thing, the media generators. The media generators has a number of things. For example, these things can also be seen as video effects, but in a slightly different way. For example, the fence. Let's drag that on top. These things are technically not video effects, so they have their own layer, which I'll talk about later. And then it produces that thing on top. It's useful, I guess, if someone could find use for it. I personally haven't, but there's also color gradients, credit rolls. Credit rolls work pretty simply. Simply drag it onto wherever, like a video clip, and then you can do the title text. You double click, change it to Scenic tutorial, blah 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 blah. And then if you want to add in more, you can simply click on that and then, well, add more text like it says. Great. Now I'm going to talk about extending and de-extending, I forgot the fucking word, your clips. For example, if I want to increase the rate at which this rolls, I can simply hover my mouse over the edge, so it says trim event end. I can drag it to the right to make it longer. I'll drag it left to make it shorter. This also works the same for sound and video clips. Like this. Bam. Oh, bam. Take note, if you extend a video clip further than its actual source is, for example, hang on, let me just move this over here. Oh, let me delete that. See, if you drag this further than its actual length is, this little thing here, this little arrow will appear. Basically, this will start, the video will just start repeating instead of extending, because it can't extend any further, because that's the end of the actual video itself. Yep. Alright. Now to talk to you, well, no. Let's talk about solid color. Solid color, it's, well, exactly as it fucking says. They're just solid color video clips. You can add them in, especially when combined with masking, which I'll talk about later. You can find use for these. They're pretty nice, and it's also better than having to Google for pictures of solid colors. Sorry, just taking a drink of tea. Alright, so here's the text. This is the default text, which has the default font and size, and you know, it's pretty boring. These are ones with event attributes already stuck on them, for example, action flip. Instead of just staying still for the duration, it flips around like it says. The reason it does this is because it uses the, hang on a second. No, it doesn't. Don't worry about that. So yeah, the different types of text do different things. We're going to quickly drag a default text on, and I'll show you about the text window. So, type whatever you want. For example, Cynic bag. Shit. My keyboard is pretty loud. I apologize for that. Inside my mouse. Again, apologies. Now, you can change the size of the font by highlighting. Just, you have to remember that. Click on there, and bam. Just like, it's just like Microsoft Word or Notepad or WordPad, no, a word processor. Change the font through here. I have some custom fonts that I downloaded. So they look quite pretty, I guess. Something like that. Great. Also, new to Sony Vegas 12, as much as I know, is the fact that text isn't automatically centered like it was before. Unlike having to do with the other things with this text, you don't have to highlight the text to make it centered or on the left. You just simply click, then blah blah blah. Pretty. Wow, this tutorial is dragging on. I thought it'd be much shorter, but I'm pretty much going over extensive view of everything. Alright, let's just get another bit of tea. What was I saying? Oh yeah, layers. Layers in Sony Vegas are these things here. You see where it's segmented up into 1, 2, 3? That is, you know, that is layers. There's two different types of layers. There's video and audio. With audio layers, is pretty much what it says, only different types of sound can go onto it. Video can't go onto audio layers because that's, well, there's no point. Same with video layers. And with audio layers, you can change the volume, the entire thing, through this, the volume slider. Minus 18. It's a bit weird on that video. It's noticeably quieter, sorry, than Tumatix. Yeah, you see? Pretty simple. You can also change the opacity of the video with this. It's useful. Someone could find it useful. Don't know why I keep saying that. Of course someone will find it useful. It's a pretty well used and professional video editing software. Anyway. What was I going to say? To create a new layer, simply right click on this grey area here and insert audio or video track. I'm going to insert a video track. Amazing. Brilliant. This, you can add in text. Yay. Also, adding in text, or adding in any other sort of, media, if you're dragging it slightly above everything else, or below everything else, it will add it in, it will automatically create a layer for that new media that's been dragged in. How amazing. Shit. What should I say? For fading, to fade something, either audio or video, it doesn't matter, simply hover your mouse over the top left or the top right of video or audio until you get the little semicircle. Then drag it in. Bam. When it says fade out offset, that's the amount of seconds it will start fading at. This will start fading, well, this will fade for a minute before it completely diminishes. That's pretty long. We'll just set it to about 2 seconds. And we'll do the same for the video. Make sure that you are not accidentally trimming the event. If not, if you are, don't worry, remember, Control Z. So yeah, that'll automatically create a fade. Kind of useless, as that's a continuous video, but it's useful for ending videos, or if you're actually doing something other than long fraps recording. What else? Okay, let's say you've completed your video. You've edited everything together, you've done everything you want to render it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry about that. Alright, I'm going to show you some things up here before I show you how to render. I've changed my mind. Well, if you've been watching closely, when I've been deleting things, my video and audio has been automatically moving back. If you're wondering why mine is doing this and yours isn't, this is why. The auto event ripple. I have to set on, because normally when I'm editing, I usually have lots and lots of clips set in. So when let me just drag in some more things quickly. No, sorry. Okay, so say I have lots of clips, right? These don't have audio because I fucked up on the fraps, but don't worry about that. It shouldn't happen for yours, as long as you have the settings correctly. Sorry, as I was saying, say I want to delete this back here, but then I don't want to have to manually move everything back. I can simply click auto ripple so it's grayed in, or so it's got the emboss around, then click delete. It moves everything back. It won't do this, say for example you also have sound effects or music that doesn't come with the video clip. For example, let me just get my music open. Alright, say I want to have the return around this point, and then I delete this. These will move back, but the music won't. Therefore, you have to take note of, what you're deleting, how far it's going to move back, etc, etc. Or if you've got lots and lots of sound effects and you don't really mind moving things back, then just turn off auto ripple. There is also, let me just get those clips, those GTA clips back. There was also something called ignore event grouping. Basically, once this is clicked in, you can specifically choose either video or audio. Say I want to keep the video, but I want to delete the audio. I can click on ignore event grouping, make sure I click specifically on the audio, press delete, and it will keep the video there. Whereas if this wasn't selected, sorry, let's just whereas if this wasn't selected and I just wanted to delete that, it would delete both video and audio. This works the same. For example, if I just wanted to keep the audio and delete the video, I could just do the same thing. Just click on the video, bam. Pretty simple. Now, let's say you've completed your video. You like how everything's going, and you know, you are done with it. You think it's completely final. You don't need to spend any more time on it. You can now render your video, also known as exporting, by moving your mouse up here and clicking on this. Render as. It's the little box with the squiggly line. I think you can also press File and Render as, but I like to save time. You can browse the folder you want to put it into by clicking that, and computer, media. I want to put it in there. I want to call it blah. Now it'll automatically change the thing, blah blah blah. Great. Render loop region is right. You see how I highlighted all of that? That's the loop region. If I were to play that, if I were to play the entire video and the marker reached the end over here, it would automatically restart the video because that's the loop region. Say you've created, say you're like a Let's Player, right? And you've assembled lots and lots of clips together in one file. You don't want to render all of these things together. You just want to render, say this bit is the first part, that bit is the second part. You highlight the bit you want as the first part. You tick render loop region only. It'll only render everything that's highlighted, what's inside the blue little area. And you click render. For the export settings themselves, there are many different file types you can use. There are some audio only settings, such as FLAC audio, which is an extremely high quality audio codec. Or there's ones that are both, like Windows Media or QuickTime. Generally, I just stick to Windows Media Video, but some people like to render in QuickTime, which is .mov. Some people like to render in MPEG-4, which I don't believe is here anymore. Weird. Anyway, I like to stick to that. Now this is, well, for example, that if you're going by YouTube standards, that would be 240p, that would be 360p, or 480p, that would be low 720, 720 HD, blah blah blah. It kind of speaks for itself. You click whatever you want, render. I don't want to render this video, so I'm just going to cancel that. I'm also going to turn off event grouping and turn on auto ripple. Alright. Say I don't want to render it just yet, but I want to come back to it later. I can also save it. So I can click save or save as. Choose the folder you want to put it in through either of these. File name. Make sure it's Vegas Pro project file or .veg and click save. And it will save the project. Great. Keep in mind, it won't save all of the clips and everything, so make sure you don't delete the clips you have in your project. For example, I want to save this and come back to it later. Okay? But then I go on a mass deleting spree, and I go into graphic.iv and I delete all of these clips because they're taking up file space. Then I reopen that project file, and all these won't be here, okay? Because all the saving does is keep everything together. So this will be exactly the same, like all the fades and everything will all be the same when you come back. But it doesn't save the clips themselves, it just saves the location of the clips. So also try not to move the clips around. Alright, that's all about everything. That's just about everything, if I'm honest. If there's anything else you would like to know about, comment or personal message me. Ask me to make a tutorial. I'll be doing it on Photoshop. Thank you. Goodbye.